Hey, welcome. So think about any great theater production. You've got the front of house team that the audience sees, right? The ushers, the ticket takers, and then you have the crucial backstage crew they don't see. Well, the world of digital workspaces, it works the exact same way. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how it all comes together.
I mean, have you ever really thought about it? It kind of feels like magic, doesn't it? You log in from wherever, home, a coffee shop, you name it, on pretty much any device, and bam, there it is. Your familiar desktop, all your apps, all your files. But you know what? It's not magic. It's a super sophisticated, well-rehearsed performance, and today, we're looking at two of the star players that make it happen, Omnissa and vCenter. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to set the scene on what we're calling the digital stage. Then we'll meet our front of house crew, which is Omnissa, and then go meet the backstage crew, vCenter. After that, we'll see how they work together when the director gives the cue. And finally, we'll really get why this whole partnership creates such a flawless show.
Okay, let's kick things off by setting our digital stage. You know, the whole idea of an office has totally changed. The stage where we all get our work done isn't a single building anymore. It's this flexible digital environment that has to be ready to go from anywhere at any time. And this right here is the big challenge for pretty much any large organization. How on earth do you give thousands of different people the exact same secure, high-quality digital workspace, whether they're on a company desktop, their personal tablet, or a laptop at the airport? I mean, it's a huge logistical puzzle that requires a really seamless production to pull off.
So to solve this challenge, we need our cast of players. And first up is the front of house. This is the part of the experience that the employee, our audience, actually sees and interacts with every single day. This polished, user-facing role is played by Omnissa.
So at its core, Omnissa's whole job is to deliver your digital workspace. It's the thing that takes the desktop and all the apps that would normally live on one specific computer and makes them available to you virtually, no matter where you are. It's really the friendly face of the entire operation.
Just think about your own experience for a sec. When you log in, that portal you see, that's Omnissa. It's the system that's checking your ticket, basically, verifying who you are, and making sure you get guided to the right desktop with all the right applications. It's like the perfect digital usher, making sure your experience is totally seamless from the moment you arrive.
But here's the thing. That super smooth front-of-house experience is only possible because there is a massive operation happening behind the curtain. For every polished performance, there's a hardworking backstage crew, building the sets, running the lights, and making it all happen. In our digital theater, that absolutely essential unseen role belongs to vCenter.
So vCenter Server is basically the master controller for all the physical hardware and the virtual machines, which are just complete digital copies of a computer. These are the building blocks of your desktop. Now, vCenter doesn't talk to you, the user. No way. It talks to the servers, the storage, the network. It's focused purely on the raw infrastructure.
Think of vCenter as the ultimate stage crew, really. It's the one allocating all the raw materials, the processing power, the memory, the storage. It's responsible for actually building and deploying the virtual machine, our stage, whenever a new one is needed. And it's constantly monitoring everything behind the scenes to make sure the environment is healthy. It builds the stage so the actors have somewhere to perform. Okay, so we've got Omnissa at the front of house and vCenter backstage. But a show would completely fall apart if they don't communicate, right? So how does a request from an audience member actually get to the crew who needs to build the set? Well, that's where the director's cue comes in. And what's so cool about this slide is how clearly it separates their jobs. Omnissa is 100% focused on you, the user. It's always asking, what desktop does this specific user need? Then it passes that request over to vCenter, which is only focused on the infrastructure. It doesn't ask what the user needs, it just executes the command. Okay, how do I build and power on that machine? One manages the request, the other provisions the resource. It's a perfect division of labor.
Now, this is so important. They don't just randomly shout at each other from across the theater. There's a very specific communication channel, a stage manager, if you will. This is a component called the Horizon Connection Server. Its job is to take the user's request from Omnissa and translate it into a direct technical command that vCenter can understand and act on. And this just brilliantly illustrates the whole performance. Act 1, the request. You log in. Simple. Act 2, the queue. The stage manager, that connection server, tells the backstage crew what's needed. Act 3, the build. vCenter finds all the right parts and powers on your virtual desktop. And finally, Act 4, the delivery. The fully formed desktop is presented right back to you through the Omnissa portal. And the craziest part? This all happens in just a few seconds.
So we've met the actors and the stage crew, and we know how they talk to each other. Now for our final act, let's really dig into why this specific partnership is so critical and what really makes the entire production such a smashing success.
This quote, right from the official documentation, just gets straight to the heart of it. The key word here is requires. This is not an optional partnership. Omnissa, the brain of the operation, it understands your request, but it absolutely needs vCenter's hands to actually go and build that virtual machine. One simply cannot function without the other.
And the result of this super tight integration is a truly flawless performance. With vCenter handling all that heavy lifting, you can scale to thousands of desktops with no problem. Operations are way more efficient because everything is managed from one central place. Every single user gets a consistent, perfect experience every time they log in. And, of course, because it's all managed in a central secure data center, it is way more secure than trying to manage thousands of individual physical PCs out in the wild.
So, the next time you log into a virtual desktop, just think about that seamless performance for a second. The elegant front of house that you see, and the powerful invisible backstage crew that you don't. It really makes you wonder, what other front of house and backstage partnerships are silently powering the rest of our digital world?